They think the man who talks loudest wins. They believe the one who moves first, flares hardest, and makes the most noise commands the field. They are wrong. In the true game of power, the loudest is rarely the strongest. He's often the most desperate. Watch closely in any meeting, argument, or negotiation. The calmest man commands the unseen high ground. This is Machiavelli's cold law of mental power. The still mind dominates the storm. Calm is not weakness. It is silent authority. Most men lose it in seconds. A flash of anger, a twitch of impatience, a careless word, and they've traded their advantage for a moment's release. They let others dictate their pace, pull their strings, set their rhythm. But you will not. You will hold your own clock in your hand. You will let silence work for you, and let stillness bend the room to your favor. Every pause will sharpen the weight of your next word. Every measured breath will signal that you answer to no one's urgency but your own. When others expect fire, you will give stone. When they demand a reaction, you will offer stillness, so unshaken it unsettles them. This is not passivity. This is dominance in its purest form. The man who remains calm is the man no one can move. Comment below. My silence is my weapon. This is where your transformation begins. Number 1. Breaking emotional reflexes. Most people live as hostages to their own impulses. They believe emotions are something to express, when in truth, emotions are signals to be understood, not commands to obey. The moment tension rises, they hand over control, snapping back, speaking without thought, making moves they'll regret. That's not strategy, that's surrender. When the pace quickens, you will slow it down. When the volume rises, yours will drop to a level so controlled it forces others to adjust to you. If they try to rush you, you will stand as if time itself has to wait. This is how you fracture the chain of emotional reflexes, the automatic responses that keep men predictable. Instead of reacting, you will observe. You will read every gesture, every pause, every shift in tone. You will see the intent behind the words before the words are even finished. This stillness doesn't just protect you. It gives you an edge. It allows you to answer from a place of clarity instead of chaos. And the man who answers from clarity always dictates the outcome. Your mind is no longer an open field for others to trample. It is a fortress guarded by patience and sharpened by awareness. Comment below. I own my tempo. Most people are reactive by nature. They don't take the time to stop, analyze, and choose their response. Instead, they're constantly under the pressure of their feelings, reacting on impulse. This makes them predictable and often leads to regret. It's like an emotional reflex. The moment they feel something, they act on it. But you've learned to break this cycle. You've discovered that there's strength in the pause. A moment of stillness can change everything. When everyone around you is rushing, you slow down. You create a gap between the stimulus and the response, giving yourself the space to think before acting. When others are shouting, you speak softly, almost to the point of silence. And in that silence, you create something powerful. Control. The reflexive responses of others are their weaknesses, their instinctive reactions to the pressure of the moment. But you don't allow yourself to be swept up in that. You're not quick to speak, not eager to defend yourself. Instead, you wait. You observe. You pay attention to every detail. The body language, the micro-expressions, the tone of voice, the way they phrase their words. In this space of observation, you gain an understanding that others simply cannot access. You see more than they intend to reveal. Where they see chaos, you see clarity. And from this clarity, you craft your responses with precision. When everyone around you is reacting to the world as it happens, you're preparing for what's to come. You know that the emotional chaos surrounding you is temporary. It's like the storm passing over the sea. The waves may rise, but the calm beneath the surface remains steady. You learn to move like the tide, controlled and deliberate. This is not an act of passivity, it's an act of strength. Your ability to stay calm under pressure sends a message to others, whether they realize it or not. You are in control. You do not let the outside world dictate your pace. You are the one who sets the rhythm. In every interaction, you practice this. In a heated argument, You refuse to match the energy of those around you. While they become increasingly agitated, you remain steady. When they try to force you into their emotional pace, you hold your ground. You don't rush your response, and you certainly don't let them rush you. This is a form of mental power. The longer you can maintain your calm in a chaotic situation, the more the balance of power shifts in your favor. Your opponents, struggling to keep their composure, reveal their insecurities. You remain composed, a silent force, while they burn their energy, exhausting themselves in the process. Your control over emotional reflexes becomes a second nature, a part of who you are. This is how you develop mental discipline. You no longer let emotions cloud your judgment. Instead, you allow them to inform you when you feel anger or frustration rising. You don't act on it immediately. Instead, you observe it, understand it, and then decide the best course of action. This gives you the ability to respond with clarity, making decisions that are aligned with your long-term goals instead of short-term emotional impulses. But breaking emotional reflexes doesn't just happen once. It's an ongoing practice. Every day, in every situation, you must remind yourself not to react, but to respond. You remind yourself that the power lies in the pause. The next time someone challenges you, tries to provoke you, or rushes you, you remember this. You control the tempo. You are not a puppet to your emotions. You are the conductor of your own symphony. You control the rhythm of the conversation. You dictate the pace of the room. When you own your tempo, you become unshakable. It's no longer about trying to force your will onto others. It's about setting the pace and allowing them to adjust to you. And when they adjust to you, they fall into your rhythm. They follow your lead, whether they realize it or not. This is the true power of stillness. This is the true power of patience. And in mastering it, you've gained an advantage that few can even comprehend, let alone challenge. You no longer have to prove yourself in every interaction. You don't have to assert your power with every word, every movement. The stillness you maintain speaks for itself. It sends a message loud and clear. You are in control. You've learned to trust the silence. You've learned that every pause, every moment of stillness is an opportunity to make your next move count. And when that move finally comes, it will be calculated, precise, and impossible to ignore. Number 2, the mask of composure. Composure is not just an internal state. It is an image you choose to project, a mask. The man who appears composed even when pressure mounts carries an authority that others instinctively respect. In moments of uncertainty, people search for the face that looks most certain, and they will look to you. This mask is not deception in the malicious sense. It is discipline made visible. Your still expression, your measured tone, your controlled posture. These send a message before you speak a word. I am unshaken. Even if the ground shifts beneath you, the mask stays in place. Not to hide fear, but to refuse to feed it. The truth is, the mask is not a lie. It is a training ground. The more you wear it, the more your mind begins to match it. Your body tells your mind, we are steady, and the mind obeys. Over time, the mask and the reality become the same. That's when you become untouchable because there's nothing left for anyone to see crack. Carry this mask into every interaction. Let it be the first thing they notice and the last thing they forget. Comment below. My calm commands the room. The mask of composure is not something that can be faked indefinitely. It requires discipline, and the more you practice it, the more it becomes second nature. The beauty of composure lies in its subtlety. Most people, when faced with pressure, can't help but reveal their discomfort. Their body language shifts, their voice shakes, their eyes dart nervously. These are the signs of a man who is being moved by the moment, who is struggling to maintain control. But you've learned to control these impulses. You've learned that composure is not about being unaffected. It's about being unaffected by the things that usually cause instability. It's not about being cold or distant, but rather about having the strength to remain calm, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. The more you wear this mask, the more people will start to respect you without even knowing why. Your calmness becomes an unspoken authority. It becomes magnetic. They will seek your presence, not because you demand attention, but because your presence offers them stability. In chaotic situations, people will look to you as the anchor, the one who holds steady while the world around you swirls. And the more you stand firm in your composure, the more others will start to unconsciously adjust to your pace. The mask is also a mirror. It reflects your inner strength. And when people see you wearing it, they feel the strength, the certainty, even if they cannot name it. You become the solid foundation they rely on, the rock in the storm. And that kind of power cannot be easily shaken. The mask of composure allows you to move through the world without revealing your internal struggles. You protect yourself from the external pressures that would normally push you into rash reactions. It teaches you to operate in a space of stillness, where your decisions are grounded and your actions are purposeful. As you wear this mask, you begin to realize that it's not just an external tool, it becomes an internal transformation. What once felt like an act becomes a part of your character. Your body learns to remain steady, your mind learns to remain clear, and your spirit learns to remain unshaken. In time, the mask you wear becomes who you truly are. You no longer need to force yourself to be calm, because calmness becomes your default state. You become a master of your emotions, your responses, and your energy. The truth is, the mask of composure isn't about hiding your feelings or pretending to be something you're not. It's about creating a space where you are in control of your feelings. It's about teaching yourself not to let your emotions dictate your behavior. When you wear the mask, you send a powerful message to others. I am in control, and nothing can move me. And because you don't allow yourself to be moved by the chaos of the moment, you become someone others respect, even fear. This type of power is silent, but it is one of the most influential forces in any room. The Calm You project begins to influence not only how others see you, but how they respond to you. When people see you maintaining composure, they start to question their own reactions. They wonder why you are unaffected when they are so icily moved by emotion. This subtle questioning, this self-doubt, is where your influence begins to grow. The more people try to understand your composure, the more they start to model it. They adjust their own behavior, their own responses, to match the control and stillness you project. And that's where the real shift happens. When you wear the mask of composure, you not only gain respect, but you also gain influence. People will start to defer to you without even knowing why. You will no longer have to assert yourself in conversations or negotiations. Your calm presence will command the room, and others will naturally follow your lead. This is the power of composure. It's not about being seen or heard. It's about being felt, being noticed without saying a word. Number 3, turning stillness into influence. Stillness is more than self-control. It's a calculated weapon. In a world that moves too quickly, a world addicted to immediate reactions and constant movement, the man who refuses to rush becomes a gravitational force. Others orbit him. They can't explain why, but they feel it. A subtle pull toward his center. His presence is not loud, yet it dominates. This isn't by accident. It's a deliberate choice, repeated until it becomes instinct. When you remain still under pressure, you signal something primal. I am not threatened. The human mind reads calm as power. It assumes that if you can resist the push of urgency, you must know something others don't. In the old courts of politics and in modern boardrooms alike, this trait draws attention without you asking for it. People begin to watch you differently. They listen when you speak, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it through restraint. Stillness in a world that moves quickly is an incredibly rare trait. When everyone else is rushing, you stand still. When others are frantically reacting, you observe. In those moments of stillness, you gain control. And that control doesn't come from power struggles or loud declarations. It comes from your ability to remain unshaken. You don't need to fill every silence with words. You let the silence linger because that silence is power. And in that silence, the world around you shifts. The more you practice stillness, the more people will gravitate toward you. They may not understand it, but they will feel it. They'll feel the pull of your calm. They'll feel the weight of your presence, even if you don't speak a word. And once they feel it, they will respect it. They will adjust to it. And once they've adjusted to it, you will have influence over them. Number 4, the art of controlled expression. Power is not in showing nothing. Power is in showing only what you choose. Controlled expression is not about freezing your face or masking your emotions entirely. It's about deciding moment by moment exactly what your face, your voice, and your body communicate. Most people are driven by their emotions. They let their faces tell their secrets before their words even arrive. You won't. You'll choose what you display, the same way a general chooses his tactics with precision, purpose, and a clear outcome in mind. Here's the truth. Humans are constantly scanning each other's expressions. It's ancient survival wiring. In fractions of a second, we notice a twitch of the eye, a tightening of the jaw, a shift in tone. Most of this scanning happens unconsciously, but it shapes how people feel about you instantly. That means you are always broadcasting something, whether you mean to or not. Controlled expression ensures that what you broadcast is intentional. Think of your face as the frame through which all your words and actions will be judged. Keep it relaxed, but alert. A frozen, stone-like face communicates defensiveness or detachment. A face that changes too much signals instability. You want a steady baseline, a calm, engaged look that feels grounded. This baseline is your anchor. From it, any shift becomes noticeable and therefore powerful. If you decide to smile, it's because it serves the moment. If your expression tightens, it's because you want it to land like a signal. In controlled expression, every change is deliberate. The eyes are your strongest nonverbal weapon. They are the first thing people check when they want to know if you mean what you say. Maintain steady, unforced eye contact when you want to signal presence. Don't stare in aggression, but let your gaze rest naturally. Break eye contact deliberately when you want to control the pace or reset the tone. Let your eyes hold slightly longer on moments you want to mark as significant. This tells the other person that you've tagged their words, their action, or their position for special attention. Avoid darting your eyes around in high-stakes situations. It communicates unease or a lack of certainty. Next, the voice-controlled expression isn't only visual. It lives in the sound of your words. Keep your tone calm, clear, and unhurried. Let emphasis come from precision, not volume. Raise your tone slightly when you want to inject energy or urgency, and lower it when you want to command attention. Speak at a pace that is comfortable to you, not one that's dictated by the other person's rhythm. And remember this, silence between phrases can be as powerful as the phrases themselves. A pause after a key statement doesn't just give others time to process, it forces them to. The body completes the picture. Movements should be economical. Avoid restless gestures, tapping, shifting, or overusing your hands. Let your gestures punctuate your words instead of carrying them. This does two things. It prevents you from signaling nervousness, and it makes every movement you make more significant. If you lean in, it means something. If you step back, it means something. The fewer unnecessary movements you make, the more deliberate the necessary ones become. Controlled expression is not about becoming robotic. It's about having range, but using that range with control. You can laugh, you can show concern, you can display intensity, but you do it because it serves your intention, not because the moment forced it out of you. This creates a powerful form of unpredictability. Others can't read you unless you allow it, and when they can't read you, they proceed with caution. They second-guess their own approach. They try to anticipate you, and in trying, they slow down, giving you control of the pace. The deeper advantage is psychological. When people can't predict your reactions, they become more careful with their words. They reveal less impulsively. They check themselves before overstepping. They start unconsciously matching your level of control. In doing so, they've already shifted into your frame. And once they're in your frame, you own the dynamic. Training this skill starts with awareness. In low-stakes situations, pay close attention to your facial muscles, your breathing, and your posture. Notice what changes when you feel challenged or excited. Do your eyebrows lift? Does your voice speed up? Does your head tilt in a way that reveals uncertainty? Once you spot these patterns, you can begin replacing them with deliberate choices. From there, practice deliberate shifts. If you normally react to something surprising with wide eyes or a quick laugh, try responding instead with a steady gaze and a small controlled smile. If you usually frown immediately at something you dislike, try holding a neutral expression until you've decided whether showing disapproval benefits you. Over time, you'll find yourself able to shift expression not in reaction to others, but in a way that directs them. Imagine a negotiation where you've been silent for a moment. They make an offer. Instead of rushing to respond, you let the silence hang. Then, you slowly allow a faint smile to form. Not approval, not mockery, but ambiguity. That one move can make them question whether they've gone too far or whether they've just opened a door you can walk through. Or picture a tense exchange where your opponent is expecting you to flare up. Instead, you keep your face calm, your eyes steady, and your voice, even your strategy, loses its target, and they're forced to recalibrate. These are not accidents. They're micro-strategies that turn your own presence into a controlled instrument. The highest form of controlled expression is when your external signals match your internal strategy. You are calm because you've trained yourself to be calm. You project certainty because you've done the work to become certain. At this point, there's no gap between the man you are and the man they see. And that's when you become untouchable in perception and reality alike. Number 5. Composure under observation. True composure isn't proven in solitude. Anyone can appear calm when no one is watching. The real test comes when the weight of attention is on you. When the room falls silent and every pair of eyes measures your every move, your every breath, your every word. This is the crucible in which true presence is forged. Observation is its own kind of pressure. It doesn't just test your words. It tests the way you carry yourself in moments that matter. It can be the pressure of an audience during a presentation, the quiet focus of a negotiation table, or the steady gaze of an opponent across a debate. The common thread is that you know you are being evaluated, even if no one says it outright. This pressure reveals a lot about people. Some shrink under it. Their speech quickens. Their breathing shifts. Their posture caves slightly without them realizing. Others overcompensate, speaking too loudly, gesturing too wildly, trying too hard to look confident. Both are forms of being moved by the moment rather than moving the moment yourself. The man who masters composure under observation does something different. He treats attention not as a spotlight that burns, but as a lens that magnifies. He understands that the same attention that can expose weakness can also amplify strength. If you are steady, if you are deliberate, that steadiness becomes larger than life in the minds of those watching. They remember it. They carry it with them. And here's the Machiavellian truth. Perception shapes reality. In leadership, in influence, in negotiation, people often respond not to what is objectively true, but to what they perceive to be true. If you appear unshaken under scrutiny, they begin to assume you are unshaken. That assumption changes how they speak to you, how they negotiate with you, and even how they defer to you. To project composure under observation, you must control both the external and the internal. Externally, it begins with posture. Your body speaks before your mouth does. Stand with shoulders open, chest lifted slightly, and feet grounded. Movement should be economical, not stiff, but intentional. Avoid fidgeting, tapping, or shifting unnecessarily. Every extra movement dilutes the impression of control. Instead, let each gesture have purpose. Each turn of the head be deliberate. Each shift in stance be a choice. Then there's the face. Your expression should be relaxed, yet engaged, not blank. That reads as detached or uninterested, but steady. A slight narrowing of the eyes to signal focus. A calm mouth without tension. This is not about looking serious all the time, but about maintaining a baseline of control from which any change in expression is deliberate. Your voice is just as critical. Under observation, people unconsciously track your tone and pace for signs of instability. Keep your tone measured, never rushed. Use pauses intentionally, as if you own the timing of the exchange. Speak at a volume that is comfortably audible, but never strained. This balance communicates certainty without aggression. Internally, the real work is keeping your mind from spiraling into self-consciousness. The reason most people crack under observation isn't because they don't know what to say or do. It's because they start thinking about how they look, saying, or doing it. That split in focus makes their delivery weaker, their presence thinner. You must reverse this. When you're under observation, focus entirely on the task, the conversation, or the negotiation at hand. Give your attention to the substance, not the performance. Ironically, This deep focus on reality, rather than on image, creates the strongest image of all. Because nothing feels more composed than someone fully engaged in the moment, unaffected by the fact that others are watching. There's also a subtle advantage to controlled composure. It disrupts expectations. Many people expect signs of stress when the pressure is on. When they don't see those signs in you, it creates uncertainty in them. They begin to question whether you know something they don't. This shift plants doubt in their own confidence and strengthens yours by comparison. Observation magnifies small things. A slight crack in tone can sound larger. A brief nervous movement can look exaggerated. But the opposite is also true. A moment of calm focus can look like iron discipline, and a measured breath can feel like unshakable control. This is why training composure under observation pays dividends far beyond the moment itself. Practice in low-stakes situations. In group conversations, slow yourself down slightly. Hold eye contact with ease, not as a challenge, but as a signal of presence. Let your gestures be intentional, not constant. If someone asks you a question, take a moment before answering. Not so long it feels unnatural, but long enough to signal you're considering your response. Over time, this will shift how others respond to you. They'll stop expecting quick, reactive answers from you and start expecting thoughtful ones. They'll notice you don't flinch under attention, and they'll interpret that as confidence, even if you're still building it internally. This perception becomes self-reinforcing. The more they see you as composed, the more composed you feel, and the cycle builds. Composure under observation is not just about surviving the moment. It's about owning it so fully that you set the tone for the room. Your steadiness becomes the quiet anchor everyone else orients themselves around. And once they begin to look to you for that anchor, you've gained influence without ever asking for it. Remember, the eyes on you are not a threat. They are an amplifier. Make sure what they amplify is the image of a man who cannot be rushed, cannot be shaken, and cannot be pulled off his center. Comment below. My calm is unshakable.